prosecution outlined how accounting practices
fuck?
of Conley Productions did not.
What kind of likeness is that?
If they were great artists, they'll be in a museum.
Evidence today may signal at least one.
You fucking fodder for cartoonists now?
Another episode of Gutter Boys is here, and it is a week late. I apologize. It's been a busy couple of weeks. It's probably going to be like that for the rest of the year. But hey, we're here, and the main feed episode is ready for your listening enjoyment. And on this episode, we are actually joined by two guests. One past guest, Bianca Xunise, along with a brand new guest, first time on the show, Raeghan Buchanan, Columbus-based cartoonist. And we talked to both of them. Well, I guess I talked to both of them about their work, their recent touring schedule, and, about punk and what that means. The interview goes pretty long, so I'm going to keep this intro very short as a result. There is some news I wanted to talk about, but honestly, it would just fill out the episode more than necessary, and I really don't want to talk to myself about this. So instead of doing all that, I'm sure we'll cover it on one of the bonus episodes coming up. The newest one should be coming up this week. If you are not a member of Gutter Boys Patreon, go to patreon.com/gutterboys or gutterboys.top. $5 gets you access to all of our back catalog of exclusive bonus episodes that you can only get on the Patreon, along with additional supplemental posts. But you know how it goes. So instead of wasting more of your precious time, I'm going to go ahead and get us into our little commercial break here. But when we return, I'll be joined with Bianca Xunise and Raeghan Buchanan. So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Are you ready for a wild ride? Get ready to meet the Santos sisters. Two ordinary girls with an extraordinary secret. One day, while combing the beach in their hometown of Las Brisas, the Santos sisters discovered a pair of beautiful medallions. What happens next changes their lives forever. The medallions are imbued with the powers of a goddess, Madame Sosostris, and can transform them at will into flying, gun-wielding, mask-wearing murder heroes with hearts, if not gold, then at least candy. That's right, it's a mix of Archie Comics meets Love and Rockets with a healthy dose of kick-ass action. Join Ambar and Alana as they fight crime, date dumb guys, and, try to stay sane in a world of assassins, zombies, crazy ex-girlfriends, and more. The Santos Sisters Volume 1 hardcover from Fantagraphics is coming to a comic shop or bookstore near you on March 11th of 2025. Don't miss out on this Technicolor tapestry of irreverent comic book fun. Santos Sisters, because life's a beach until it's not.
Indie Northern Kentucky, or Inc., is the Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati area's only zine, alternative comic, and small press bookstore, featuring over 400 different zines, alternative comics, and small press titles. A creative space with supplies to ideate and create your own zines and comics, and an event space for your zines, comics, or book release or reading. For more information about how to sell your zines and comics at Inc., stop by IndieNKY.com. That's IndieSky.com. Visit our new home in Dayton, Kentucky, and read what the cool kids are reading.
Underground Kingdom Comics Presents Romance is the third issue of a new anthology showcasing the UK's most exciting small press cartoonists. This 28-page A5 comic features cover art by Vincent Bell Robertson and comics by Lily Blakely, Adam Falp, and Anna Redman, plus pinups from Kai Reynolds and Matt Greaves. Daredevils and Warriors wrote, "If you want to leave your comfort zone and are looking for thoughtful and original comics that have an edge without being edgy, then you should check out these UKC books." You can buy Underground Kingdom Comics Presents Romance now, along with the previous two issues, Horror and Crime and Original Art, by backing our Kickstarter, which is live until Friday, March 15th. Don't be a cunt, buy a comic, innit? Hell yeah. Meow. Sid the Cat magazine is out now. If you've ever been to an amazing rock and roll show and thought, I wish I could experience this moment again, but in comic form, then Sid the Cat magazine is for you. Fiercely independent show promoters Sid the Cat have joined forces with comics journalist Andrew Greenstone to bring you an ongoing publication that documents the SoCal indie rock scene. This stunning 52-page full-color magazine features comics, articles, photos, and illustrations from a rotating cast of local illustrators and writers. It's a celebration of Sid's artists and venues and supports those keeping the bleeding edge of the indie music scene alive. Our first issue covers musical artists Big Thief, Illuminati Hotties, Mike Kroll, Fucked Up, Finn Lilly, Katie Kirby, Kate LeBon, Cursive, Christian Lee Hudson, No Win, and so many more. If you are a fan of comics, indie music, zines, rock reports, or community by the way of culture, order a copy now at sidthecat.com/Sid-zine. Again, that's sidthecat.com/Sid-zine.
Athenium Comic Art is an original art website for some of the best cartoonists in the business. They currently represent Remy Boydell, Marie Capelle France, Nicole Gu, Jonathan Hill, Emma Hunsinger, Casey Nowak, Micah Song, and Tilly Walden. Athenium Comic Art gives fans the opportunity to own an original piece of art from their favorite comics and support the artists that they love. In their short time in business, they've already shipped many iconic pages out to hardcore fans across the globe. Don't miss out on your chance to own a one-of-a-kind piece of history. Check out their website, atheniumcomicart.com, and type in Gutter Gang at checkout to receive free shipping on your first order. Again, the website is atheniumcomicart.com, and the code is Gutter Gang.
Morning, Gary. Morning, Marianne. Need a menu? Nah, I'll just have the usual. You sure do love your eggs and coffee, Gary. Best way to start your morning, Marianne. Well, that and an issue of Town and County. What's that? Town and County is a new comic series written and drawn by cartoonist Alex Nall. He's that guy that wrote them books about teaching and that Mr. Rogers feller. Oh, he was such a nice man. The first issue is 36 pages of black and white comic stories with beautiful color covers and features 6 stories about folks in our little township here in Illinois, like Susie Barber, the house cleaner that uncovers her client's dirty laundry, if you know what I mean, and Stanley Pepper, that big feller that just lost his job and took to drinking every night at Bugs's Tavern. Well, ain't that something? Town and County is published by Ivy Terrace Press, headquartered in Chicago. Chicago? Who would want to live there? So dirty. Each issue comes with a copy of the Hometown Hero, our little town's newsletter, and it's only $8. $8? Where can I get it, Gary? You can order a copy of Town and County on the internet at storeenvy/Alex Nall Comics. Oh, there's your breakfast, Gary. Thanks, Marianne. Nothing like a cup of coffee and a good comic book.
Rust Belt Review is a quarterly comics lit magazine featuring serialized and short-form comics from some of the most exciting cartoonists in the small press scene today. Volume 1 features work from Gutter alums M.S. Harkness, Audra Stang, and Caleb Arecchio, along with work by Andrew Greenstone, Sean Knickerbocker, and Juan Jose Fernandez. You can order your copy of Rust Belt Review today by going to rustbeltreview.org. Enter in promo code GUTTER to receive $2 off your order. Again, that website is rustbeltreview.org, promo code GUTTER.
The Last Aviatrix is a post-nuclear adventure comic by independent, Los Angeles-based cartoonist Buster Cagle. The story follows Summer, our last aviatrix, who pilots the sole-surviving airplane, a nuclear-powered B-29, as she travels the ruined world finding ways to survive and help humanity while dealing with the imminent threat of the Atom-born, a rare breed of atomic wizards that want to see her out of the sky. Her mission becomes complicated when she accidentally picks up Henry, an Atom-born child who wields incredible power, and Clementine, a berserker on a quest for vengeance. Can our aviatrix survive this ruined and irradiated wasteland? Every issue can be read for free on bustercagle.com/comics. Paper copies can be ordered as well, but you can still read it for free. If you like wizards or warplanes, go check it out.
Now, back to our program.
All right, and we're back from the break. I'm joined with past guest, friend of the show, Chicago-based cartoonist, Ignatz Award winner, Bianca Xunise. What's up, Bianca?
Hey.
And we got a twofer, folks. First time guest, Columbus-based cartoonist, Raeghan Buchanan. What's up, Raeghan?
Hey, look at you. You said that whole thing correctly. Raeghan Buchanan.
Hey, I'm a professional.
You said mine wrong, but you know what? So.
Look. All right, I'm not perfect. I never claimed I'm perfect. We're all human.
Everybody makes mistakes,
Exactly.
It's okay.
It's
scary. Everybody's afraid of it, but I enjoy that power. So I just let people say it wrong, honestly. It's fun for me. This has been my thing since I was a child. I'm just like,
okay, so how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Eunice.
Eunice.
Yeah, like Eunice, but niece.
So wait. Okay, Eunice. All right, I'm going to write that down so I don't forget.
How do you write it down?
Like how it sounds.
Using like umlauts and stuff?
Yeah. Y-O-O.
I used to put umlauts over the U when I was cool.
Yeah. At one point I learned they meant something.
They're not just cool punk designs you can put on your letters.
It's just like Swedish shit, right? Or I don't know.
So since I edit this together, Eunice, that's going to go in there instead of me fucking up. How about that?
You can keep it fucked up. I like that. That's funny.
Okay. Okay. We'll do it as a bit. That's fair. Anything for the bit. Yeah. So thanks so much for joining me. I've been wanting to talk to Raeghan for the show for a minute now. And Bianca, obviously, I always enjoy having you on as a returning guest. You just got back, Bianca, you just got back from your European tour supporting your book that got published earlier this year, Punk Rock Karaoke by you, Bianca Xunise. Wait, who was the publisher? Was that Penguin?
It's technically Viking.
Viking, okay.
But then it's like, and then it's under Penguin Teen, and then it's under Penguin, Mother Penguin.
Mother Penguin. Okay.
But I think it's gonna, if you search it, it's gonna be like Viking Press.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think that's like the technical term.
Okay.
But also like, there was method to this, and having Raeghan join us today because she was also just in similar places that I was in Europe, promoting the secret history of Black punk.
Record Zero.
So we were both just at across the pond, as they say.
You what, mate?
Yeah, did we go to the same graveyards? Just like, or in Scotland you're talking about, right?
Yeah, in Scotland, yeah.
Yeah. I don't really remember the names of the ones that I went to. I just went to wherever Tana Tucker told me to go.
Tana, also another incredible cartoonist. She's goth, but she's still part of like the Black alternative comics crew. Yeah, she had. Did you guys do something at the Glasgow Zine Library, right?
Yeah, we did there was like a 2-day setup. So we tabled there for a couple of days. That was really nice. It was they had a kind of after party too. And I don't want to say randomly, but because like if I would have looked at the program, I might have known or whatever. But our ags from shopping did a solo set or whatever. So for me, we were like packing, and then they're like, "Oh, well, there's something upstairs." And I go upstairs, and it's like our ags, and I'm like, "What the hell?"
Oh my God.
I'm not going back home because, like, you know, stuff is happening over there or whatever.
Glasgow's popping. It's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, what is it? Incredible fried chicken. I don't know who told them,
Wait, in Scotland?
but it's great. Yes.
What?
Exactly. It's fire. Like, I didn't have a single bad piece of fried chicken, and
fuck?
I'm very particular about my fried chicken. JB, you're from the South, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. Like,
Okay.
you've had fried chicken from the
Oh,
South.
no,
You're
yeah.
like,
Yeah. And I've had Midwest food.
everything's garbage.
Yeah.
So I'm technically not a Midwestern. I'm the only one from my family that's from here,
Mm-hmm.
because my parents moved here, but my mom's from the South, and so she cooks like a Southern woman.
She can
and
cook. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also learned the secret frying chicken skill. So whenever people take me to get fried chicken, I'm pissed. I'm like, this was bad. No, but Glasgow fried chicken, I was eating that shit every day. I'm sorry.
I didn't have no fried chicken. It would have never occurred
That's
to me to
crazy.
have fried chicken over there. We went to some place, I forget what it was called, that had I had a what's it called, like a blood sausage or something like that. That's not what it was called on the menu. And then oysters. Yeah, and then I was like, whatever it was, I was like, whatever, let me be an adventurous eater. And then the server, you know, he could tell we were not Scottish or whatever. So
Really?
yeah, even though my name is Buchanan and everybody over there was named Buchanan, I was getting like messed up in the airport because they were paging Buchanans and it was military time. So I was like, oh no, is it?
Oh no.
Yeah, it was terrible. But
They found you.
yeah, no, it's because everybody's last name is Buchanan over there. But he wouldn't tell me what was in it. He was like, you just try it. Like, he wasn't being a jerk or whatever. He was I don't know, being a nice waiter or server or whatever. But yeah, it was blood sausage.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was all right. I'm
That's
Not a.
Yeah, it was all right. Like,
I'm fascinated by eating, like, as like, you know what I mean? The food was good over there. You know, my cooking is shit. So anybody else's food, you know, please.
Yeah, Scotland's the last place I would think would have good fried chicken, but you know, I'll take
I
your word
know.
for it. I'll take your word for
Imagine that.
it. Yeah, if I ever end up in Europe, in Scotland, I'm going to try the fried chicken. If it sucks, I'm coming after you. Hope you know
Please.
that.
Please.
I think I had oxtail over there.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
okay.
Like Jamaican style oxtail?
I don't think it was, no. But
Oh.
Just happened to be oxtail.
yeah,
See?
there was, I feel like there was just like a lot of fusion kind of menus that we went to. I wish I remembered the name of the restaurants, but I don't. So
It would be really funny that like we find out like 30 years from now that like all the Scottish people are actually black and they're just wearing whiteface.
What?
It's like,
oh god.
What a process. That's a lot of work. Since childhood?
I really didn't see no
Jesus.
black people over there, to be honest.
Really?
Not really, no. Except for the
But you were okay,
I
but
was
you
in
were
Edinburgh.
traveling back and forth from, what is it, Edinburgh?
Yeah, Edinburgh.
To Glasgow. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was staying in Glasgow proper. What is it? They I had Ethiopian foods, like
Oh.
I had black food, you know,
Okay.
African food. Yeah, which was also incredible. Yeah. Great
yeah,
food.
Ethiopian food is very, very good.
I don't know how we got this. Has nothing to do with comics.
Honestly, this is the pod.
Oh,
90% of the time we're talking about food or some movie we saw, but you know what? That's fine.
we were selling comics. That's what we were talking about. I got a culture shock about getting paid, I guess, because
What happened?
because I don't have,
Wait, no, let's talk about that.
well, I
Yeah.
don't have like I guess I take a very so I like drawing, I like doing whatever, but all the stuff around it is kind of hard for me. So like selling, like if I'm at a table or whatever, I don't really have change or a card reader or anything. So if somebody wants to pay me for stuff, then like they either need exact change or not to care about their change, I guess. Or like Venmo or Cash App. And when I was over there, they said people had heard of PayPal and some people did have PayPal, but it was some kind of like bank exchange that they normally pay each other with. So as soon as we got there, I was like, oh shit, well, I guess it's just going to have to be Scottish dollars or whatever.
Yeah, what is the Scottish dollar?
I don't know. It's really cute though.
I
It's
think
pink
it's,
and purple. And it has like seals or something on it.
I think it's pounds. I think
Oh, they go
I
by the
think it's
UK.
pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right.
It's like transparent. It's got little gold strips in it and stuff.
What?
Little copper
Is it-
strips or
or do they go by euros?
They're
No.
using-
No, I think it's still, yeah, they're still under the UK's
They're using Etsy knickknacks for
colonization.
money.
Yeah, that's what it
it's
looks
It's still
like.
pounds. It's still pounds, yeah. 'Cause I remember when I flew into, I've like been to Europe a few times now,
Mhm.
and each time I've gone like for a job that I like didn't have to like pay for my flight. That's my trick, is never pay to go to Europe. Just try to find a job that'll pay your ticket, because it's expensive trying to go
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
But what is it? They as soon as I got to the airport, I was like, okay, let me get some cash. I just took whatever cash was in my wallet and went to the currency exchange that's like at the airport, and I got euros.
Mhm.
But you fly into Dublin, and then we took a bus into Belfast, because I was in Belfast first, and we stopped at like a farmer's market, and I like went to buy an apple because I
Yeah.
was like hungry. I just got off the flight. I was like, ooh, like actual fresh fruit and veg. We don't have this in the States, so please let me try my first apple. And I handed him. He was like, how much? He told me pounds, and I was like, oh shoot, they still take pounds in Northern Ireland and in Glasgow. But I only had euros on me, so I was like, can I give you this euro? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to throw this into the garbage, but
Wow.
I'll take it. And he like gave me the apple, and I was like, whoa. Like, I was like, okay, listen, I just want to eat.
Ooh, that's good.
But I learned a powerful lesson in that moment, to never offer a euro to Northern Ireland and the UK. That shit stays in the European Union. Do not do that.
It's worth less
Oh,
than nothing
no.
to them.
Oh yes, he
That's
said I
crazy.
will throw it into the garbage. I said, okay.
You should have just stole the apple, I guess.
Oh, he was an old man.
Yeah, he sounds like a staunch Brexit guy.
He was a very old Irish man.
Yeah.
I mean, Belfast is very Northern Ireland. They're on their own kick. I don't quite know the whole being a part of the European Union or being part of the UK. I don't know the full layers of that, and so I will not tap into that. But I do know that they're extremely anti-British. So that's the part where I get confused
Yes,
because of the history there. But I'm just like, hey man, listen.
right.
He had that old man strength. I was like, I just want this apple. I don't.
You didn't want to start an international incident.
I didn't.
I said, I just want an
No.
apple.
I just want an apple. And the apple's fantastic, honestly. Best apple
yeah?
I've had
Best?
in years. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
And a lesson. You know what? Because if it's coming from an old man, you're going to get a lesson and you're going to get
yes.
some food.
Yes.
So,
That's a good point.
yeah.
Raeghan, you last year I know you were touring quite a bit too to support your book, which Bianca so kindly, graciously already mentioned, Secret History of Black Punk.
Mhm.
There's obviously some overlap between your book and Bianca's book in terms of it dealing with the punk culture as a whole.
Mhm.
We just did an event together. Yeah. But being black punks.
Yeah. I meant to send you the photo of everybody in the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's kind of cool because like so the videographer like Hate56 was there or whatever,
Mhm,
and they took a video of. He sent me like a clip of the video with me and Flora talking, and he at the end was when everybody took a photo, and it was kind of cool. Like you were seeing the behind the scenes of a movie or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I meant to send you the photo of everybody because I could see your face in it. It's just really cute because I could at shows a lot of times at my age, people are not necessarily going to like punk shows and hardcore shows and stuff like that. And it's just weird to like be in New York and know more people at a show than I know in Ohio.
It's great. Just for a little context, so this was at the Secret History of Black Punk Festival that happened. What is it? Was it this month? Was it this month or was it in October? I can't remember.
I think it was
anymore.
this month, earlier this month. Yes.
Yeah.
Earlier
I looked
in
at your
November,
account to make sure I knew my shit.
I don't know where I am or what year it is. I'm just here.
No, I get that.
But yeah, Raeghan invited me out to do this festival to table there, which I really appreciate. Also, like Raeghan, you also did like the really sweet shout out because I was fine where I was at. So there was the merch section as soon as you came into the venue, and then there was the stage. And I got placed by the bar, which was fun for me. And I also like not only was I like right next to the bar, but then I also had like the perfect line of sight to the stage. So I saw every act and I got to watch my stuff and I got to just reach over and get drinks like a Simpsons character.
Hell yeah.
And it was great, but it was also like kind of dark where I was. Like at the beginning the fest, it was still daylight, so you could still see my table, but as the night went on, and because like the sun goes down, is down.
Yeah.
You couldn't see me anymore. And Raeghan went up there and was like, hey, like, you know, we as, you know, artists and, you know, collaborators and stuff, like this isn't a competition. This is like a community effort. And so I want you guys to also check out, you know, my friend Bianca, who has Punk Rock Karaoke. Like, you know, come see me, you know, if you want the secret history and you want like that foundation to then be able to pick up a book like Punk Rock Karaoke and see about like the life of these kids who appreciate the music in which I write about. And like, yeah, it was a really great moment. I was really touched. I would have cried if I had on waterproof mascara. But,
well,
I held those tears in.
It was a different venue than we did it at last year. So like, I didn't know what the setup was going to be or how the tabling was going to be. And it's kind of funny because like after I got home, I realized that like, you know, I was waiting for my partner Flora to get there to figure everything out. And I remember like asking somebody a question at the door and then being like, oh, we got to wait until the organizer gets here. But like, I'm so socially weird that it literally didn't occur to me to explain to people who I am. You know what I mean? Like that I am a co-organizer.
Just some random person here asking questions.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just like, oh, well, my brain is like, oh, well, this avenue isn't going to work. Instead of like, hey, tell them who you are and ask if there's tables and like what goes on here. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
So like, yeah, I didn't. And then I'm just like kind of trying to run around trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. And yeah, I realized that you got put in that dark corner. But it was cool because when I was on stage and I pointed you out, I felt like it was like a large cheer. And that made me like super happy because I was like, oh, everybody like knows each other and like they're excited. Like, I don't know how even have to explain who you are. People just already know who you are. So that was really cool.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
I wanted to touch on both of your experiences touring to support your books. Obviously, the subject matter of both of your books are pretty similar in terms of those themes. Did both of you notice any kind of like consistency with the types of audiences that you were engaging with while on the road? Like, were these people that were like very much like have some kind of investment in punk music or punk culture in general? Or was it more of a smattering of all different walks of life?
I mean, I noticed, I want to say in the beginning, there was definitely, it was more of a smattering, even just like people who were just like fans of graphic novels, because like where I'm at right now in the comics world, at least like there's the people who know my work and people know that I come from like indie self-published zine work. So there's that core demographic that reads my work. But doing a graphic novel through like a YA graphic novel through a major publisher like Penguin brought in like this whole new audience of people who like that's like their favorite thing is like reading. That's like their they may not necessarily read like Marvel or like DC comics or read any other type of comic. they might just like this. I'm just like really into like YA graphic
Okay,
novels.
yeah.
So there's like that whole audience of people. So that was like a new group of people who are just like, I just really love like a good teen. Like I see it like people who just like love like a good like John Hughes like teen
Right.
movie, like a Beetlejuice. Like I'm not even saying this like in a judgmental way. I'm
Yeah.
just saying like some people just like a good G
Was this
movie. I like go for it.
was this like a younger crowd then, or was it kind of all over the
No,
place?
no, this is like adults.
Oh, okay.
This is like
Okay.
adults who are just like it's like that's their favorite pastime. Like there's like, like book talk and all these things. Like these are all like
Okay.
grown people talking about like YA books. So there's like that audience that
Mhm.
came. They're also just like they like follow Penguin Teen, like they'll like read whatever they're reading. And then there's also like, because it's a YA book, there's also just like there's a lot of children that see my work now. And that's interesting because some of my work isn't for children.
Right.
So I'm kind of curious about that canon event that they'll all have to experience when they are like, oh, wait a minute, Bianca's an adult and has written about adult things before they wrote this kid's book. And I mean, that's, I can't stop that. And then there's like the punks. There's been like the punks. There's been, I will say, so I love Chicago. Like, haha, I said it. So any person
Go
from
off.
Chicago will say Chicago no less than 5 times within a conversation.
Let's go.
And on the book tour, so my book came out in April under a Scorpio full moon. So very excited about
I
that.
love that you
A
knew
blood
that.
moon, no less. Because how cool is that to have like your book debut on a full moon?
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
pretty sick.
yes. And what is it? So I've putting like a pause on the tour. I want to say now, like Raeghan's event, the Secret History of Black Punk in November. That was kind of like a and scene. That's
Yeah.
Act 1. I'll keep touring probably when it warms up again. But now it's Chicago hibernation season.
Right.
So we're done, and I also have to. My publisher's like, you have to get back to work. So I have to start writing again. But from that time, I mean, I'm meeting all these different types of people, and I was having all these events. And like, here's something that I would love to share that I think a lot of people don't understand when it comes to the publishing industry, and I think even something I did not know. So this has like been my dream to put out this book, to write punk rock karaoke, and to like tell a story, like to make a graphic novel. And I had this sort of narrative in my own mind
Mhm.
that I would get this book deal, I would write this book, and then my publisher would be like, and now you're going on tour, baby. And they would like send me all these places, and it'd just be like me and my suitcase, and I'm like jet setting. And I know it like looked that way on Instagram, but the secret to that is you're doing that all of yourself. No one helps you with this. Like, it's just kind of like, good luck.
Whoa.
And honestly, big grand shout out to Beth Hetland, who is a colleague of mine, also like Chicago comics artist. Just her book birthday. I think our books are like 2-3 weeks apart.
Mm-hmm.
Tinder that she did with, what is it, Drawn and Quarterly or Fantagraphics?
Fantagraphics. We had her on
Fantagraphics.
when it came out, or right before it came out, rather.
Her and her partner were kind enough to have me over for dinner actually before my book came out, and she like sat me down and like gave me the business.
Yeah.
And also just like was like, I'm going here. Here's this person's email. Reach out to this person. DM this person. Like, I'm gonna help you get this tour started. And so like,
Wow.
big outs to Beth for helping me.
That's awesome.
Put this tour together because. Yeah, again, like I now have like $3 left in my bank account because like I self-funded this whole thing. But again, like it was my dream. I'm just like, you only have one first book,
Mhm.
and this is something I always wanted to do. But my favorite, this is one very long ramble for me to say, to bring it back to Chi-Town, my best events, at least like the ones that are like super close to my heart, like New York, LA had incredible events there. I had an event in LA at Reparations Club, which is this Black, queer, female-led bookstore in Los Angeles, and then had another event at Blue Stockings in New York, and Forbidden Planet, both like amazing, incredible places. But Chicago, I got to have an event at the Empty Bottle, and that was really cool. So I mean, again, like both me and Raeghan write about punk music. My friends are always like, why don't you ever like start a band? Whenever you start a band, like I like being a fan of things. I like being a supporter. I like being the friend of all, because all of my close friends are like all musicians. I'm like the one non-musician, and I kind of like that they can keep loving me and liking me because I'm not their direct competition. I'm just the sweet friend that comes to all the shows, you know. And I can have my little phone out and be like, "Get it, baby!" You know, woohoo! Yeah, you did it! Oh wow, look at you smash that! Mm-hmm. But I don't have to be up there. It's just like it's fine.
You're not lugging equipment and doing sound checks.
No, I still do
you
that.
Still do
I actually
that?
still
Okay.
do that because I'm also that friend.
Oh, true.
But,
Okay.
But so I had this incredible event at Quimby's where like, again, like Chicago showed up. And this is like Chicago showed up for that. And at the Empty Bottle, which is like a DIY, not DIY, but it's like an independently owned, like small pubish music hall in Chicago that's been open since like the 90s. It's been open for a while. And I think it's on an episode of Easy on Netflix if anybody's curious of what it looks like.
Yeah,
and
we know some people that were on that, I think.
There's quite a few. Yeah, there was a Z Not Dead on Easy too. It's kind of funny. Were you on an episode of Easy?
No, I was not. I did Z Not Dead, but I was not on that one.
Okay, because I'm like trying to remember now, like who of my friends I know. What is it? Brett and Brad and
Mike. I think Mike Santano might have been on that.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, he is.
Yes. Right.
Anyway, sorry. But
gonna throw names at the listeners.
What is it? They know these people. What is it? Yeah. So I had this event at the Empty Bottle, and yeah, it was just really cool to like have all of these like non-comics people come to this event. It was like all punks, and it was like at one point I just stood in the center of this crowd and just like allowed myself to feel it, because like it was like street punks, there was crust punks, there were ska kids, there were goth kids, like it was every like subgroup of like under the punk umbrella, and I was like, I'm punk Jesus right now. Like I felt like because we had 3 bands perform, so I had 3 Chicago local bands perform at this event, because I'm like, it's punk rock karaoke, like let's go, let's bring some music into this. And so I had Edging and Bussy Queen Power Trip perform, which are both like Chicago like punk bands, like queer and trans. And then my friend Johnny like played some music, like some power pop, because like that's like my favorite, like one of my favorite genres of punk music is power pop. And so it was like a great time. But before all that, like me and my friend Martin like did like a little presentation. I showed some clips. So for anyone who like reads this book, what is it? There's a scene that takes place at this place called Punkin' Donuts, which is a true location in Chicago. So it kind of ended in my teen years. Maybe it made it to my 20s. In the 80s and 90s, outside of the alley is definitely going to come up in this conversation. So the alley is just like the original, like the cool version of Hot Topic in Chicago. Yeah. Hot Topic is like the mall chain. The alley was this sort of like Camden town behemoth of a store. It like went a block long and like took up like this neighborhood, and next to it was a Dunkin' Donuts that all the punk kids, either after shows or couldn't get into the clubs after shows, would just hang out and eat donuts, because the Dunkin' Donuts was 24 hours, and it became this like notorious thing. So there's this TV show called Wild Chicago, that's like a PBS documentary TV show about like weird things in Chicago. So there's an episode where they film all of these punks from, I want to say, the early 90s, talk about, and these kids are like coming from like, you know, Naperville to hang out at this parking lot, but like so was I. Like I was coming out there. It's before my time. I would say I was probably 3 or something when this is being filmed. But yeah, I like was showing clips of that at this event. Like I said, I know I'm rambling. You can free feel to edit all of this down. I'm very excited to share these things. Because there's so much, like I'm working on another book, and it's just like I get so nerdy at just like weaving all of these like sort of lores and things in my writing to like make it real, but also just to like make a point of the fantasticalness of everyday life, and just like those moments, like, you know, when you're a kid hanging out at a parking lot after a punk show eating hot donuts. Like it's this warm feeling that I want people to feel when they read my work. I want them to have those same like nostalgic moments, either like, you know, I for my younger audience, like I want them to read this book and be like, wow, this is so cool, like I didn't even know like punk was an option for me, or this is like a great way for me to express myself. So there's like please, like this is me planting a seed, and please join punk rock. Or for older audiences that read my book, they could have like this moment of like nostalgia of like, oh my God, I remember that guy, or like I remember that experience, I remember that show, and it just makes your heart feel warm again.
For sure. And it's like a kind of acknowledgement, right? Like to the things that came before that built the foundations to the things that you enjoy today, which I think, you know, speaks to Raeghan's work, obviously, because you know, your work is very much invested in the history of punk music from the perspective of Black alternative scenes. So Well, okay, so my first question is, when both of you go into writing a story for your book, what is like the lead time that you give yourself for like researching and finding elements that you want to work into your stories?
Like how much time do I allow myself to stay in that part of the process, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. That's my favorite part. If I could just read and never do anything else, like, or like maybe go down to the neighborhood bar and like tell people who don't care the shit that like I just read, like that's probably all I
Yeah.
would ever do. But for me, that's the most enjoyable part. So I feel as though that probably takes up the most time. I like to find little details of things, and I like to find it's almost like reality TV for me. You know what I mean? Like I like to figure out who was influenced by the same stuff, like who, came, before the other person. I like, yeah, I just like to know a lot of details and try to make like little connections and stuff like that, and kind of let my mind wander and go into other like little metaphors and different things like that. So a lot of times when I'm, like right now I'm doing research for my new book, so I'm interviewing the people who are in it. I'm like, I live really close to the library, so a lot of times I'll check out books that have like nothing to do with what I'm doing, so that I can let random stuff kind of infiltrate it, like graphic design books, or like I just got a book about like album covers. I'm reading, I'm trying to get through the entire Grail Marcus's lipstick stains or whatever, which I've never gotten all the way through. But yeah, so I just try to like, it's like a meandering process for me, and it's the one that I enjoy the most. So I don't really have like crazy deadlines that I have to stick to. So I stay in the research mode, I guess.
Okay. What about you, Bianca?
I mean, I wish that I had a better answer for that, or I actually not that I had a better answer, but I had a better no, I actually wish I do have a better answer for that, because there is no. I'm not that organized. I'm very, especially now that I've gotten older, I've kind of leaned into it more. I'm very strange, and I just allow myself to just go with the rhythms of my artistic instincts.
Sure. I mean, hey, got you to the dance.
I
So.
sound so annoying right now, but like truly, like I'm a free spirit, man, and so
All right.
I
Well,
just
moving
go
on,
with
Raeghan.
the flow of it. But it's not actually. That's I love the that beginning process of creating a story, because that's where I really do feel like I can remember that this art practice of making comics is an art practice, and it's not just like a consumer product.
Right. Yeah.
And it gives me this opportunity to just kind of fall in love with comics again. So I'll often like be reading other people's work.
Mm-hmm.
But then like also, yeah, I read a lot of books and all types of stuff. Like I'll pick up an old like Fear Street, to be like, what was that book I liked when I was a kid?
That's cool.
Or I'll read something just, something else I'm reading. Like I also read like too many. I think I'm reading like 5 music biographies right now. Like I'm reading like Ronnie Spector's, I'm reading Tina Turner's, I'm reading, what's his name, Kid Congo's, like all that. Because I like read books like watching movies. Like I'll read a few chapters and then move to another.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of juggling.
Multitask. Yeah.
Multitask books. But then also, because it's like, what era do I want to go in? Do I want to be in the 70s right now, or do I want to be in the 60s?
Right.
And I watch a lot of movies. And then I just go out into the world, like. And speaking of like simultaneous, like this book tour was also just like another chance of like getting me out of this room.
Yeah.
Because that's also like, I was like, I was writing this book for like almost 4 years, and I was like trapped in my house. So this was an opportunity to just like go touch grass and see the people, and also just like be around different types of people, different types of punks, like even just character design. I love just people watching for the sake of being like, oh, I like how you put this together, or how this person looks, or this person's facial features, and not being a creep, but just like kind of just like, oh, you get trapped in your own world, in your own bubble. You forget that like there's a diversity in which world we live in, and not everybody like has the same taste or personality as you. So go out there and see the people.
Yeah.
And put that back into your work.
No, for sure. And what it means to be a cartoonist, it kind of implies that you are constantly living in isolation to begin with, since the work, like the bulk of the work of like writing, drawing, doing the layouts, the thumbs, all that shit is like keeping you stuck behind a desk, or in Raeghan's case, behind a drawing board.
Yeah, I try
And-
to be honest. I'll be trying to like. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I know that happens, like cartoonists, being in isolation or whatever. But I grew up in a house full of people or whatever, and I can't stand being by myself. So like I try my hardest to. That's why I have, like I said, like I don't really have a setup in my house to do art. So I feel like I'm always couch surfing and like drawing on other people's couches and eating their food and stuff like that. And I'm always like, listen, I got to do this job. I have to do this job. So like, let me come to your house so I can get this money or whatever.
I would say I'm similar to that, Raeghan, in a way. Yeah.
Mhm.
I also grew up like in a house full of people, but then I find I'm also the youngest. So I also find I need like treehouse time
Mhm.
where I need to be away from everyone. Please leave me alone. I've had no space. I need to go like
Yeah.
hide. So it goes back and forth where I'm just like, I miss the noise, I miss the chaos, and then it's just like, please, I need time out. I need left alone.
Yeah.
Please, I got my American Girl book and I'm being good. Please leave me alone.
Man, I read those like Fear Street and stuff like, and like Twist the Plot books to like get drowsy and go to sleep. I like going back into like the childhood books cause like your mind is always being so overactive. Like I feel like people think being an artist is like you just live in La La Land. You know what I mean? Like where you're like, oh, you're just inspired by like the birdies and like, but in real life, you're like constantly comparing things and your brain is constantly like going overboard and stuff like that. And so like, yeah, I definitely go back to stuff like R.L. Stein and shit like that to like go to bed,
No, that's real.
Yeah, bringing up the element, the isolation element to making comics.
Oh, we're gonna stay on topic? That's cool.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
sorry.
It's because the punk, like
You
punk
asked
music,
for this, JB.
I know I did. The punk scene and punk music, it's all about being in a space with a bunch of like-minded people, and it's a very social interaction. Obviously, like for example, Bianca, with the literal karaoke shows that you were doing with bands, and then Raeghan having the Punk Fest in New York. It's a nice meeting of the minds, kind of like, yeah, like I'm stuck in one particular place working on this thing for you all to enjoy and experience, but then we all come together in this like physical space and actually like engage with it. There's like a shared communal experience in that way that I think a lot of cartoonists don't get to experience. So like, was it a natural progression to introduce the aspect of like touring a book and like talking about your book and doing Q&As and this like sort of like very dry understanding of book touring, but then also supplementing it with the roots of what you both are interested in terms of the music scenes, where it's like, yeah, I'm going to book these bands and they're going to play, their sets and people are going to be into that.
Okay, you said that aggressively. Book these bands.
I mean, like, honestly, I don't think I cared too much about what people like. If I would have like written a book about, is that like my special interest? You know what I mean? It's almost kind of like this is just like a whistle to get all the weirdos to come out and be like, hey guys, I got content for us weird folks. You want to come look at it? And then we can all like over it together. But it's just like, if this isn't for you, then it's not for you, and that's fine. Like,
right.
I want my people to be there. That's why I was like so stoked to do the Secret History show, because I was like, this is my target. Yes, like I want Black punk kids to please read this book, because we have never, like almost never, seen ourselves depicted in fiction, depicted as main characters, depicted as love interests in this type of story. Even like some of my favorite movies from like the 90s with like, Black storylines, there was always like, and then here's the message that comes with this, and that's why you don't smoke pot, because you'll go to jail. It's like to remove all of that, because like some of this like respectability that comes with like some of the media of the 90s. Like I was just so happy. Like, I'm happy for anyone to read this book. Like, this book is for everybody, and I'm kind of joking around here, but like this book is for anyone, and I hope to taint some people and them being like, actually I take off their glasses and be like, I've been punk all along. But I really like it. It meant so much to my heart to see like younger versions of myself pick up this book and like have this, because like it's always been like my goal to be like that weird babysitter that like introduces you to something strange that forever changes your life. And so that's what punk rock karaoke is, and I hope they feel comforted by it. Like I've gotten like some DMs and like some tagged, it's like some Instagram posts from like kids who are just like, oh my god, I've never seen anything like this, and this meant so much to me. And I like, there's like a part of me that like feels a lot of pride in that, and then it's like bittersweet because I so badly wish I had that when I was younger.
Oh
and
yeah,
I didn't.
That's that's my motivation. I was just talking to my dad about that on the phone today. But like my motivation is like that thing where for me, I'm like almost doing stuff for younger me, and I don't feel as though I was ever like 100% alone or anything like that in the punk scene. But like the representation was few and far between, and you had to search for it, and people didn't always tell you about things, and people didn't always know about things and weren't always interested in the same things as you. Like there's a lot of shit to get into with like punk and hardcore and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I feel you, because honestly doing like the secret history of Black punk, it's like weird because it's almost it's this last one almost made me feel like I was maturing a little bit, which is strange because like as a comic artist and a musician, the goal is to be a perpetual child and never grow up and never have any responsibilities or whatever. And, so like when I was getting up to try to talk to people, it's easier for me to be on stage, like behind a drum kit or behind a mic, like singing or whatever, and not so much like using your words or whatever. But like, when I was up on stage with Flora from Ma'afa, that's who I do the New York shows with, and talking and listening to her talk to everybody, it was like making me feel like, we're trying to create like a safety. I know punk isn't safe, but for Black kids, it's like a different experience. So like where I can only speak generally or whatever, but like for like, white kids you see in the mosh pit, they're going off, tearing up and stuff like that. They're like mad and angry and like looking for violence. But like a lot of times Black kids are like, they don't need to the need is more to escape violence than to go out and find it or whatever. So if you're in a Black mosh pit, you're more likely to see people going off and having fun, bumping into each other, but nothing fucking insane. You know what I mean? Having fun, but like happy to be in community and stuff like that. And yeah, it did make me like have a little like mature, like heart swelly moment where I was like, where it was like people come up to me like talking about how they appreciated being finding bands through reading my book and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh no, don't do this. Like I'm just like a dumb ditzy cartoonist, no responsibility, but thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like kind of jumping off of what Raeghan's saying right there, like I see it like also like in two folds where it's like I honestly feel like some of the scariest pits for me are probably like metal ones, and I think that's also like part of the allure of it. That's like part of like the underlining BDSM of it that they won't admit to. But when it comes to like pits and the diversity of them, like there's definitely like, if I go to a show that's like mainly like this one type of white dude, it's just like watch yourself. Like they kind of, they're almost like kind of playing like this edgelord where they want to hurt you, and it's like, dude, you're ruining it for everybody, because like not even all the white kids here want to get hurt. They just here for the music, man. Like I want to dance. But I noticed that Secret History, and even being at shows where like it's predominantly Black, it's offering Black people an opportunity to express that anger and to express that violence in a safe space, because we always have to, as Black people, we always have to hide our anger. We have to hide our rage to make everyone else comfortable, because we are stereotypically labeled as violent people. That it's a natural human emotion to go from both joy and sadness and rage, but Black people always have to stifle their own rage because we're always being policed out of it. So when we were at Secret History, it was incredible to see these Black kids have a safe space to be able to be angry, to be a little violent, and not get policed for it. Because it's like this beautiful dance when a mosh pit is in its bag, it becomes like this sort of its own sort of mecca where everybody becomes a piece of this beast, and it's all sort of waving together when it's perfect. Like there was this one moment, I think when we were closing out with Soul Glow, but they were passing the mic around, and it was so reminiscent of the Black church, where like, because I grew up going to church, and in the church they would like pass the mic around, and people would give they would testify, they would give like a testimony, and the church would become like emotional overhearing people's like personal stories. And at Secret History, they were passing around the mic, and they weren't saying anything, they were just screaming into it. But to see like, especially like Black femmes and Black women just have this opportunity to just scream into a microphone, I was like, oh, they needed this. Like especially like for, again, like you're adding the layer of Blackness and femalehood, where you have two different sides telling you to never show anger, to always be a peacekeeper, to always be loving, to always be quiet. It was incredible. Like I think about that day like constantly since I was there.
Oh, that's cool. No, to your point about like getting aggression out, like that made me think of like there's this person, Archie. She's real tall.
Archie's beat the shit out of me a few times, and I deserved it. I was in their way, and I got hit. Yeah,
right. Right before it started, I walked by Archie, and she was like, "Y'all, I'm sorry about what's gonna happen in this pit when I get in there." And I was like, "No, you don't have to apologize to me. Go off." You know what I mean? Like, I know what you do. Like, yeah. But yeah. So to your point of people feeling more comfortable to have that. Also, the dudes in Minority Threat were joking about like why, because how the programs, they're like, well, you got to bring the church fans next time. You got to print the program on the church fan. You know what I'm saying? Like with the popsicle stick at the bottom.
Oh my God, yes. With Martin Luther King on one side?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, you going back to that root of that question, it's like, what was the seed that was planted and triggered the idea of like, what if we did these book tours or these events, but rather than it being this kind of like rigid experience, why don't we implement live music and like actually
I have
having
an answer for that. It's like really simple, actually.
Please.
From one, so it's kind of funny because whenever I went to art college, right? And I used to be like, I went to a Bauhaus college because my school is a Black mountain school.
Okay.
And then I learned that almost every school after the Bauhaus was a Bauhaus school. But like, because I'm like, I went to this certain kind of really cool school. That's that I don't know, whatever, because Bauhaus. But like, but
great band.
Yeah, right. I'm just kidding. But like, sorry, I'm trying to say like three different things at a time. But the Bauhaus way of teaching is not just one way of learning art. It's you doing art in several different ways. You learn like your base, you learn architecture, the base for woodworking, you learn design, you learn typography, and then you go on to pick what your major is. But you get the base, and then you learn, in college for me, that's when I learned about, art movements like Fluxus and, Dada and, the situation is international and things like that. And that's where you kind of learn to break down the walls of certain mediums. So then when you get a little bit older, so I do art for a living. And so a lot of times people are like, oh, you can't do that. I can, because I don't really care about making money. But but also
you picked the perfect career path.
Yeah. I'm just be poor. But like the other thing is that to make money in art, you have to kind of do more diverse things. It wears less on your body, If you're doing murals full time, then you're doing murals with your body full time. But if you're doing murals in the summer and you're doing, you're selling, tabling in the winter, and you're doing comic books, and you're not always hunched over a table, you're not always in the sun, you know what I mean? So there's a little bit of that, and then there's just seasons that call for different things. So I'm been taught to like just embrace like doing different kinds of art. But the simple answer is there's other people who work in comics and like are also like familiar with being in like whatever musician and punk world. So basically, when I started doing the research for my first book, which I didn't know was going to be a book at that time, like one of the people that I reached out to was James Spooner, who is the person who did the Afropunk documentary, and he
The High
did
Desert.
High Desert comic.
Yeah.
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 And so basically he explained to me that like that would be a good idea, that like if you go on, you know, book tours, you have to like share your money with like the bookstore, or like, you know, there's like different expenses in that or whatever. But to put on shows, you're basically kind of like gathering an audience that wants to look at your book, because my book being about like punk rock and stuff like that. And so I've put on shows before, I put on festivals before, so it's like not a new thing for me to do that, but it's like it was a new thing for me to combine them. And for me, it just like made it just like more, because it turned into something else, so it made the experiences like more fulfilling to me, because it was like, you know, I had one in Columbus, Ohio when my book first came out, and it just, I don't necessarily ask much for people as far as like come to my art gallery or come to the, you know what I mean? So I'm not always asking people for stuff. So I felt like a lot of people showed up for me. I was excited that it was like people who were not necessarily all in the punk scene, but just like wanted to experience this, like, you know, this thing or whatever. And it's just like the people are interested. Like it doesn't, they don't have to be connected to like cartooning culture or like comic book culture. I can draw people in just by telling them about my thing. So they don't have to know, there's no barrier to entry. That's what is like interesting to me or whatever. I'm gonna stop because I'll keep talking.
I was having a good time listening. Yeah.
Oh,
That was good.
I for me, this was like my first time. No, I mean I've always sort of brought people together for whatever type of scam I was trying to pull, but this was like probably like I haven't done something like this in a while, and kind of similar to you, like, you know, I pulled a lot of favors, and I knew, like, again, like punk rock karaoke is something that I've been percolating for even longer than it took for me to write it, like honestly like 6 or 7 years. And you know, as I was just kind of like, this is my one shot, you know, like this book's very important to me, and I want to be able to work with the people that I dream to work with. So, you know, at the event at Quimby's, you know, I asked Jessica Hopper, who is this incredible music critic based out of Chicago. We've only like shared like DMs, you know, on Twitter. I think like she reached out to me on Twitter years ago, and we've like kept a conversation, but like we had never like spent time with each other in person. And she, like, you know, directs films now and documentaries. I think she directed the movie Women Who Rock.
Nice.
And her book is the first collection of criticism by a living female rock critic. Okay, so I just had to look at it to make sure because it's quite long.
That is.
And
yeah.
I mean, she has interviewed all types of great people, and so I was like, would you like to come over to Quimby's, and, you know, this independent bookstore in Chicago, or like, it's not even a bookstore, it says more like a zine comic book collection of weird in Chicago. And she like instantly said yes. Like I didn't have to pay her. Like there were some other people that I admire that I was like, hey, would you like to do a panel with me? And also, that's like, people don't know that sometimes those don't always pay unless like there's like a sponsor to pay for it.
Right.
And they were like, cool, I'm like $1,000 an hour. And I was like, whoa,
never mind.
Wow. Don't have that. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. So I'm sorry. Thanks though. But, and then like, again, like I got Caroline Cash to do the posters for the event.
And
I got to, you know, go around town, you know, doing vandalism, putting those up. And that was fun. Like, again, like for me, like punk rock karaoke, like the characters and the main character is Black, but there's also like a representation of punks from all different types of backgrounds. Like there's Muslim punks, there's Asian kids, there's white kids, there's Latinos, and like all types of folks. And again, it's like a love letter to the amazing beautifulness of the Chicago scene specifically. And so in doing that, like I had like all different types of people kind of support me. It was always important to put queer people and women in the front, and people of color, and everything that I've done to promote this book. It's been all over the place, because for me, that's like the beauty of the punk community. When it's good, and when we all got our heads on swivel, like it can be this space for all types of people, and it's like, for me, it's like a model of how we can, live in the rest of society. Because I'm very much like a political punk. Like, it's not, for me, it's not just like a music, subculture. For me, it's like it's a community service. It's a place for community. It's a place for art, not just music. Because, like, again, like what me and Raeghan do is comics, and these comics and zines are punk as fuck. Like, it's not just a music thing. There's so many other elements of it. It's more of just like a community base where we like fast music, but that's not only it. I don't know. I tried to tie that up in the end and I got scared, so I felt like I painted myself in a corner. And like, I know y'all get it, because like you guys are down with the business, but like I'm like, somebody listen to this is gonna be like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, you just gotta be there.
It's fine. This episode's free.
This episode in particular is free.
No paywall.
Yeah, this one's on the main feed, so I don't want to hear any fucking complaining.
Where's the secret episode?
Oh, the secret episodes are on Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/gutterboys or gutterboys.top.
I thought you were talking about. Oh, sorry, I talked over the.
Get that plug in.
I thought I was talking about like Masonic Temple shit.
You gotta say the secret words in order to get the point across. All right, so yeah, it looks like we got like 5 more minutes to wrap this up. What is art?
Oh god,
make it short. No, I'm kidding.
Oh god, yo.
Just where can people?
I will leave.
You're grounded, man.
So okay. Have you all have either of you ever thought about collaborating on anything, since the subject matters tend to overlap?
Yeah, I was talking to Bianca about we need to go hang out at the graveyard. That's a collaboration, right?
Okay, fair.
Making art together? Fair. I don't. It's not that I don't want to. I would love to, but I think we're both like deep in a book project right now.
For sure.
And I think true to any artist, it's just kind of like yes. But also, I have this extremely long to-do list that gives me anxiety, stomach aches every day. So once I get past some of that, then we can have that conversation. But always, like my Raeghan, like right now.
Let's go.
I keep wanting you to draw.
Please, I would love to work with you
at the panel, because we did a panel at TXC or whatever, and I wanted.
We've collaborated, yeah. And then I'm in your book.
You to like. Because I wanted you to like
Campbell?
draw like a rat. Yeah. I want my leg to get ratified, and then I can go run and get a tattoo. But that's like so much coordination, because I have to get a tattoo before, like, I could see me accidentally getting in the shower or something, and then like washing it off or whatever. I would have had to like set up like a pipeline or something like that.
I mean, it feels like it'd be easier to draw a file for you, and then. But I know you want the process of me drawing it.
No,
I would like to do that.
I want to be dramatic.
Yeah, no, I like that. that's punk romance.
The most important element is to be as dramatic as possible, of course.
Oh my gosh! I mean, but I feel like I don't know. It's not something that I think about, because I feel like we are just in constant collaboration because we share a space. And we share worlds. Like, I feel like we're never not collaborating. Like, I guess like on a piece of like commerce that somebody could buy, like, yeah, whenever you want to do that, like, let's go. But I just feel like we're like, even right now we're collaborating. And then I'm in, what is it? What's the book? What's the title of the other book that I'm in, Raeghan?
The one that you're in?
Yeah.
What? The one that I did, or like one?
Yeah, you did it. It's I think it's one of your zines, and it has like a bunch of quotes from different.
Oh, Strange Glances.
Strange Glances. Yeah,
yeah. You think I made like more than like 6 books? Yeah. I put you in that. Yeah. No, and that was cool, because a lot of times I'm reaching out to people who I don't necessarily know, and I didn't know you like well or very much or anything like that, and it is I really appreciate you and everybody else who like fucks with me just based off of like maybe my enthusiasm or the fact that, you know, I want to do something like,
Yeah.
because, you know, sometimes I don't like, it's, you know, especially, you know, when you're talking about like in cartooning or comics or whatever, there's like this like weird, sometimes like gatekeepy shit or like this like,
Yes.
that's like totally unnecessary and boring as fuck. And like, you know, I don't feel like I'm not interested in it. And so when I find other people who are not interested in it, like it's automatically, you know, makes me really happy or whatever, because for me, the collaboration, you know, for me, you know, like I was talking about, like community for me is like strength that keeps me whole. Like everybody, like no gods, no masters. If we're all like cool to talk to each other, like, sorry, this is probably like more deep than that question. I'm like, no gods, no masters.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, as long as comic conventions and indie cons continue to be like predominantly like ran by white people, me and Raeghan will continue to be placed in the same room. Like that's, you can guarantee that. You can guarantee that because they can only find 5 of us for some reason.
I know they be putting us on panels that like based on hair length or something, because have nothing to do with each other. Like, you know, you're gonna
like,
be.
I think there's only 2 black femmes who've ever made comics ever.
Yeah.
So, despite there being rows and rows of Becky's, there are only 2, and so you will see us at a show near you soon together.
I say
promise.
that, but then I'm glad that they put us on.
I mean, honestly, it's a good time though. Like I'm not mad at it, but it's also like,
yeah, I know what
ain't
you're
mad,
doing.
though. I love hanging out with you. Yeah.
No, I was about to say, yeah, no, and it's cool because, like, again, yeah, I like to be dramatic. I like to romanticize my life, you know, like all whatever artists, writers, or whatever. So, like, doing shit like, you know, when we were in New York and we all went to Double Down, and you know, Wimberly came out, and my friends from home came out, like shit like that.
Oh yeah, Ron Wimberly came out to that.
Yeah, like shit like that is like cool because, you know, it's just like a nice event in your life. So collaboration is conversation, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's always beautiful when you get to hit the intersection of like black punk and cartoonists. Like it is a rare and beautiful thing, and I'm always like happy to share space with you and Ron and James.
Yeah.
Do you so Bianca, you already mentioned that you are donezo for events for now while you work on your book.
Yeah.
Raeghan, do you have any upcoming events that you plan on showing up at?
Just pop up.
Just appearing. Yeah.
I do. I was about to say, why are you thinking there's nothing? But there is. What's it called? Distractor. Drew Hall's thing.
Okay, yeah.
It's here. It's in Columbus, Ohio. It's called, I think it's called Distractor too. But who else is in it? Emmy Jennis, Steve, what's Steve's last name? Pillow Talk, that guy.
Oh, Arnold?
Steve Arnold, yes. I'm sorry. Steve,
sorry. I got the list up. I'm cheating. It's fine.
That's okay. That's why, like, I always forget. I know I'm always going to, Craig Campbell's in it. So I'm excited because, like, when I started doing, like, the book tour things, like, I was making, you know, the PowerPoint or the PDF, and I would just, like, put the whole comic book page on it, and, like, then I'd get nervous and, like, read it real fast because I didn't know what I was doing. And then I saw what everybody else was doing. They're, like, having, like, the little panels pop up. So this will be the first time that, like, I, like, have a background that's, like, paste or whatever. So I'm excited about that. I feel like everything I do, I'm like a little kid. I have to like learn all the like little whatevers to it.
Yeah, so Distractor for the listeners, that's going to be on December 14th at 7 p.m. BYOB, no cops. Go check it out.
ACAB, they say.
Yes. I'm trying to see if it has an address or like a location.
I do not know.
It's at 17 East Tulane Road.
I told Craig he has to pick me up because I hate driving. So I was like, I'll do this, but I'm not. I need babysat.
Well, Craig, you're on notice. You are on notice. You better remember to pick up.
Because I want to like drink too. So.
Oh, for sure. Craig makes a good designated driver.
Yeah. Well, and then
he drove me around too when I was
he did.
Yeah.
because I'm just like, I feel like, because it's in my own city, so I just like feel like it's I'm just like gonna treat it like it's a social event that I can't back out of, like when I'm deep in hibernation next month or whatever. So
Also, like, the cost of Ubers in Columbus are crazy. I'm sorry. Like,
is it more
you're
expensive?
going like a
why is that?
mile and a half, but there's like walking. It's not a very walkable city. And so an Uber's going to be like $18. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, that's going from the north side to like Pilsen
Yeah,
in
that's
Chicago.
why you gotta
We're at
pick up
7
those,
miles
like,
in Chicago. Are you kidding me?
little scooters or whatever.
Oh no! Then you get bullied by the other punks for being on one of those scooters. I'm not trying to show up and get bullied somewhere.
Oh man,
Yeah, they'd be like, "Seriously, dude?" I'm gonna be like,
look at this fucking clown.
Have you been
"No,
to Dirty
who's
Dungarees?
this guy showed up on a scooter." No,
Bianca, have you been to Dirty Dungarees here when you come?
no.
There's like a bar here that's like a it has like shows, but it's a bar and it's a laundromat or whatever.
That's cute. No.
Yeah, you should have a karaoke thing here. You should come back and visit. Also, I feel like your karaoke events are really just an excuse for you to audition for bands because you can like really sing.
Don't read me.
I think I walked into you singing and I was like, what? How did they get Tina Turner in here?
You know, like listen, I'll be in a band, but it has to be like a very like romantic, like seedy Malcolm McCurran type of person. Has to be like, wow, you're fashionable and cool. Please start a revolution by being part of my band, the Sex Pistols. And I'll be like, I mean, if it has to be me, I guess, but it's gotta be like only you, Obi-Wan. Like it's gotta be like that, you know? Or I won't do it.
Bianca, you get like the special, like it's like Dumbo's feather, but it's like a shirt with a safety pin in it, and then like it's like then you get like superpowers or whatever. I feel like I wanna do some like shitty like industrial like Einsters. Like I just want a drum kit made out of like all rusty like sheet metal or whatever. That's what I want to do right now. I don't even want to make songs. I just like want to like make them up on the spot. I don't think our bands would be compatible, I guess, but we could play on the same bill.
Hell yeah.
This sounds like you're describing swans. Like
No,
if I were to
combine makes me
both
so
of your
sad.
statements.
I don't know. I don't actually know exactly what swans sound like because I feel like everybody I know who like has mentioned swans is just a serial killer waiting to happen.
Whoa, JB, I'm sorry.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
You know, I'll take them where I can get them. Thank you.
One time I walked into this dude's house and he had a Swans poster in every room. I was like,
okay, that's insane.
That's scary.
I was like,
that is
okay,
psycho shit.
hold on.
Yeah, that person for sure has some bodies under the stairs.
I was like,
no.
it's time.
All right, well.
Sorry.
On that,
I think that's a good
Catch
time to
it.
cut
This
it
was
off.
all about comic books.
catch it
I actually,
straight.
we were starting to touch on. I did want to talk to you both about music and like what you all are listening to right now. What gets you going? We'll save that. We will. We'll table that for another time. Maybe we'll be able to have you both on again at some point in the future. We also have that Patreon. Bianca, I know you're a film head. So we can maybe do
weird.
that too.
Yeah.
Get really weird. Yeah, we got Real Boys, which is our podcast within a podcast, and we talk about movies.
Hell yeah.
So we'll have you on for that one if you want. Raeghan, you can also pick a movie that if you're a film head like Bianca.
Oh yeah, I mean I might not be a film head, but I like some movies, you know.
Who doesn't like a good movie?
Yeah. I'm about to watch
You know?
Valley Girl again today. That's like my favorite movie. I realized
See Valley Girl?
Yeah, I realized I haven't watched
With Nick
it
Cage?
in like
Yes.
years.
And the Plimsolls? Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yes! I'm sorry. I'm
so-
very excited this happened right now because the Plimsolls kept coming up randomly yesterday in my life. So the fact that this is continuing on till today, I'm very. This is wonderful.
That was
Thank
like
you.
I have another like fucking dumbass boy story about that where I was like trying to show this boy like my favorite movie and like the
never do that.
Plimsoll. I know the Plimsolls came on and he was like this is like terrible and I was like you don't know anything about power pop. And he was like, wow, I guess that hurt. I was like, we're done here. Like, just shut up. Like, I'm showing you my favorite movie, idiot.
Wow. You couldn't even lie.
You dumbass.
Damn.
Fucking idiot.
Oh. Oh, wow. What a lens. Like, Jesus.
But I like turned into like this, like, you don't know anything about power pop.
That is a
like, let me
very
shut
strong
up.
statement to make.
Which, like, not to be confused with pop. What is it? Punk pop?
Power pop.
People
pop
confuse
punk.
them. Yeah, it's totally different genres of music.
We need to bring back gatekeeping power pop and
Punk
I
pop.
think so.
Pop tarts.
yeah, you know, popcorn.
Unless you like soda. So
Do you all call it pop or soda?
I call it pop.
Soda pop.
It's crazy. Okay.
Sorry, Midwest.
They just call it cola down there. Doesn't even matter what the fuck it is.
No,
It's
that's just
cola.
Virginia. That's like the only place, isn't it? Virginia. They
No,
call
no,
it Coke.
that happens in Georgia. It happens in Florida.
I remember, what is it? I was getting sleepy at the Continental, which is like one of the worst bars you could ever go to in Chicago. It's a 5 a.m.er, and I wanted a Coca-Cola. And so I go to the bartender, and I'm like, hey, man, can I have a Coke? And he, like, stopped. And he, like, looked at me and was like, oh, okay. And, like, he started to, like, go to the back, and I was like, no, dude, I want a Coca-Cola.
That's such
Oh
a
my
soda.
God.
We used to call that soda. That's
Bro,
so
he was
funny.
about to bring out an 8-ball.
I was like, oh, well, I ain't got that kind of cash on me right now. I just want whatever RC is coming out of that thing. I even know it's not even Coke products, man. That's
Oh my God.
in Chicago, so it's probably RC. Like, let me
RC
get that,
is the
please.
best one, I think. Probably because of childhood haze. I'm sure it doesn't taste better than Coca-Cola, I guess. I don't know. But
That's crazy. He was about to bring out a kilo for you. That's why.
I mean, that's also like Continental for you. Like, be careful.
Yeah,
If
no, yeah,
you,
that checks out
like,
for sure. No, that 100% checks out. I would actually argue that every late bar is like that.
oh man.
It's Chicago. Oh yeah, but Chicago's wild. So I
Yeah.
love her.
Did you? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I've been to the Empty Bottle before. Also, like you said this has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but Bianca, when you were like talking about all the genres that were hanging out together or whatever, that was like cracking me up because I feel like all the time, like I think that punk rock is like you said, like I always treat it as like an umbrella term so much in my own mind that when people are like say stuff like, well, ska, if you want to think about that as punk, I'm like, what are you talking about or whatever. But like
yeah.
you made me think, it was like you said it made me think of like Nipsey Hussle or something. Like you're like bringing like all the factions together. You're like under one roof.
Oh my
I
God.
know
Tied our
that's not what we were
bandanas
talking about. I'm
together.
sorry.
Nah, I had Cobras and Kings in there. We
Yeah.
were cool.
Just a patched up handkerchief and then like a checkered handkerchief tied together.
Mhm.
You know?
Now, you got to be careful spreading unity.
You dummin'. Listen. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Did you, Bianca? Did you ever get to go to? It was a VFW that was close to the triangle of what was
Yes.
it, Ashland
Uh-huh.
and Division, I think it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Kind of
We
near
used,
there.
we used to sneak in there. Allegedly. Allegedly.
I miss that place so much.
We used to have karaoke parties there. Bringing it back to karaoke, yes. My friends
Yes,
used
bring
to
it
have
back.
like birthday parties there when we were in high school. And
I
they
can't
didn't
remember
care.
the vet's name that used to run the karaoke.
Yeah.
But he rocked.
Gosh, this is ages. I haven't been there in quite some time.
Yeah, they closed like almost a decade ago at this point,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But I have very fond memories. In fact, I'm like absolutely certain that I have brought up this fucking place on this fucking show like at least 20 times at this point. But it was the only place you could smoke inside.
Yes.
Which,
Outside of Richards, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, both were clearly like it
Or,
wasn't because the law just magically said, no, that's chill, actually.
The
No,
Mutiny? Have you been to the Mutiny across the street
Yes.
from Quenchers?
Yes.
Oh
I've
my
been in the
gosh.
Mutiny.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
That place
Yeah,
was
rest in peace for sure. What isn't
roadie.
isn't one of those spots is now like some kind of like high-end eyeglass store or some shit like that.
Oh, Quenchers is like a fancy pediatrician now.
That's what it is. Okay, yeah, Quenchers. Yeah, R.I.P. to Quenchers. But we used to go there and stay until like 6 a.m. on the weekends at that VFW, and it was fucking rowdy. And you saying that you got in, maybe allegedly underage, we don't know. There's no way to prove that.
I was at a church sleepover.
Exactly. And like you would just look around the room and be like, yeah, none of these people none of these people are 21.
I mean, like, honestly, like, it was also like partially that, but also like, some of my friends who like grandpa hang out there, they'd be like, oh, my grandpa got us. Yeah, truly.
Yeah. No, it was like night and day between like their like midday or evening operating hours to like when it was past 10.
Yeah.
And it just turned into like a free for all basically. Yeah. But my fondest memory is only paying $2.50 for Maker's Marks on the rocks.
Oh, Jesus.
That was really like the end of the Western civilization as soon as that place closed. And you couldn't do that anymore.
We got to bring those prices back.
Oh my God.
You really should. Yeah, I agree 100%. We should run for office in Chicago. just on that as a platform, in fact.
I ain't doing that shit. Have to work for the people? Have to work for lobbyists? Nah, I'm good.
You got to get paid, whatever. Anyway, so Raeghan, where can people find you online if they want to pick up your wares and check out your work and engage?
Yeah, I mean, so my comic book is The Secret History of Black Punk is on Silver Sprocket, so that's the best place to get it. Yes. I am on Instagram, like with like I'm like peppermint_Raeghan, but like Raeghan is like, like the gun, like pew pew, because nobody can spell my name. So I guess like watching me there is probably the best place, because I don't like, sometimes I have an Etsy and stuff like that where people can buy my other stuff, like my self-published stuff, but I'm pretty lazy about opening it just because then you have to go to the mailbox and stuff.
Oh, dude, I have such bad post office anxiety. I hate doing it. It's like one of the things where I'm just like, let's keep it underground. You just got to come to a show, man, and get my stuff. Because I not go to the post office.
Well, my computer, so I do actually have a computer, but it's a Mac Mini from 2012. And so like to run off the postage, like I literally have to wait like a half an hour for my computer to recognize the mouse. You know what I mean? And then like it just thinks at everything. So like it really, I remember when I would have like a new thing come out, I would take orders while they were happening because it took me so long to like, cut stuff out and like get it to pop out on my computer that it was like almost like an ADHD conveyor belt. You know what I mean? Like having the new order pop up and then I had to do all these like actions. Whereas like if I'd waited for them all to come in at the same time, then I would just be sitting at my computer like waiting for like a minute every time I had to click something. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't have like I don't run the tightest ship over here or whatever. So yeah, I guess like those trade shows and stuff like that are the best, way to, you just catch me if you can, I guess, like old school.
That's true. That's what I love about you.
Bianca, where can people find you on the internet if they wish to do so?
Everything is at Bianca Xunise. I left, unfortunately. I put up my Twitter hat and left the place when Apartheid Clyde took over.
Apartheid Clyde.
Because we don't support that. He's a very evil man from a very evil family.
Yes.
But I am on the Instagram because I'm forced to be on the internet and the world that we live in. So I post on there. You can see me in the pit and be confused how I manage to both be like in the pit all the time and also produce work. And then to buy things, honestly, like if with Punk Rock Karaoke, which is if you want zines and things, every once in a while I'll reopen my shop. You kind of have to just like stay on top of that. But I do shows. If you're able-bodied and able to come to a gig, like please come out. If you're not, shoot me an email and I could send you something. Like that's fine. And again, Bianca Xunise at Gmail. And my book, Punk Rock Karaoke, you can buy it through penguinrandomhouse.com, but I also prefer like request it through your library or like go to your favorite bookshop and have them buy it, like, and then
There you
buy it
go.
from them. Like
Yeah.
that's put the money back into the community. Like Penguin's all right. Like she's got plenty of money. She'll be fine.
Mother Penguin is
But
doing just fine.
Mother Penguin is fine. But make the bookstore, then buy it from her, and then buy it from the bookstore. It's just like this Pac-Man way of, again,
Right.
just funding your community. So
Spread that money around a bit.
again, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the post office situation in Columbus is like.
It's insane.
But-
Like,
Oh, really?
well, I mean, so you know how the only time I've ever, like how people are like always videotaping these Karen moments or whatever. The only time I've ever like seen one like a blow up in real life was at the post office, because so there was a time where people were like sticking up like the blue boxes or whatever, like robbing the post office. And so they didn't have very much work. Cause this girl came in and she like had this wicker basket full of mail. And she was like, I haven't gotten mail for 2 months. And then this comes yesterday. And she's like, just slams it down or whatever. And they're like, like how in the Boondocks, like there was like
God.
Grandpa was like, remember when he was trying to get butter and he was like, butter it yourself. And he just like doesn't change expression, and it's just like monotone. He's like, yeah, well, I gotta pay this for the movie and this. I don't know how, I'm not quoting it directly, but then the popcorn guy is just like never changes like his tone of voice.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, you gotta better it yourself. Well, that's just how it is. Like, I feel like that's how they were at the post office. They're like, ma'am, people are sticking up the blue boxes. We can't get enough like people on the route. They assign, too big of an area. It's COVID. And she was like, I knew you were going to say COVID. Don't give me that.
Jesus. Oh, Lord.
And they're just like, she's just like was so
The
ramped
China
up
virus.
to have like a
Jimmy.
confrontation. And like all of them just stared at her like monotone and repeated the same thing. I was like, ma'am, can you like, like, it's insane here.
She was going through it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm glad nothing happened because she was very irritating.
I will say, I can only speak for like the post offices here and when I lived in New York, here in Chicago. But I feel like the post office is probably like the one time in my life that I ever get to experience what it must feel like to have white privilege. Because like I'll be waiting in line and they got all the aunties working up there because black women love a government job.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, what that baby doing back there? Y'all making that baby wait, baby, come up here. What you need? And I'm just like,
Bro,
I got called, guys. I'm sorry.
Dude, look, the Chicago post office, they are horribly understaffed
Oh, always.
and horribly overworked. They were always running into issues. People were constantly mad at them. And I found this one little trick, at least in my local post office in Pilsen.
Mhm.
It's called treating the other person with some amount of dignity.
Oh my God.
And,
What?
and wouldn't you know it, the person on the other end of that table will actually help you.
Oh my God.
And every time I went back, those aunties fucking remembered me and they fucking
They
loved
do.
me.
They do.
Cam got auntie.
Their fucking faces would change the moment the person in front of me, they were done getting yelled at by that person, and then it was on to me. It was like night and day.
Uh-huh.
No, so like people be like, because
Miss Shirley, uh-huh.
like in
That's my girl, Miss Shirley. Uh-huh.
I feel like, especially after the pandemic or whatever, because I've told people stories like, I agree, like I get free shit all the time, right? And people are like, sometimes they're like, how or whatever. And I'm like, no, seriously, like literally be nice to people. They are not used to it. Like
Yeah.
employees and shit
gosh,
like
yeah.
that. Like you go to the store, like, man, people treat each other, like I guess especially after the pandemic or during the pandemic, like restaurant workers or whatever really feel it. But yeah, people are like, you see people just like being rude, like if they're not even necessarily like going ape shit, but just like so dismissive and like
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
like hello or anything like that, just demands or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I sound very old right now.
No, but it's true. It
That's
is
a real
true.
thing,
Like I
yeah.
have so many. I mean, like I have so many friends who are musicians who then are also bartenders, and like they tell me like I like go a lot of times like I'll go hang out at like some of my places my friends work at just to like draw on people watch. So it's like great. theater Chicago bars are. Like I feel like that's one thing people don't understand about like Chicago bar culture specifically. It's just like every place is like Cheers, and you just go there and you're like, wow, there's some weirdos in here. This is fantastic. But at the same time, like I watch my friends like get treated like the help, and like it's like, oh, you just pull the lever, dude. Like, what's so hard about that? And it's just like. It's like, oh, excuse me, like, or like they'll be like in mid conversation with someone, or they'll be helping someone else, like, or giving people directions. Like people come into bars for like just tourists, or just like, hi, do you know how to find the Sears Tower or whatever? And it's just like, yeah, it's strange. Like people who often like are just like behind a counter, whether it's like post offices or bartenders or waiting tables. Like I worked at a movie theater, I worked as a barista. Yeah, it's insane how we do definitely like live in a culture where it's just like there's just like this sense of entitlement when you work in service, and you just kind of treat it like you don't exist, like you were there to like that customer's always right bullshit, like you're just there to like white-handed foot on these people who kind of get this like small high that they can pretend that they're rich for one moment because I'm doing something for you
100%.
and not that like, hey, we're just all doing this together. Like I actually lost a friend over tipping, where he was like, this is the straw back, I'm so tired of you being on your high horse, because he didn't want to tip.
What?
He didn't want to tip at an Asian restaurant because of some of like
What?
anti-Asian racism. And
No.
yes, and so
I've never
and I
heard of
like
someone
cussed,
being like-
I cussed him the fuck out over this. I was like, it was also like it was like kind of like those friendships that like after 2020 you're like, why do I like this time to kind of trim the fat a little bit.
Right.
And people's true colors were coming out, and that was like one of his true color moments, because like some person I knew since college. And like I'm fully in the belief that people who work service should be paid like more than livable wage. You shouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck. You should be able to go on vacation. You should be able to treat yourself, and not have to make that up in tips. But I also feel like people who do service work should still be tipped. It's just like you're running around, you're using your body, you're on hand and foot. Tip them.
That is correct.
Yeah.
No, I
Anyway,
100% agree.
I also like tip. I also like sometimes I keep a tip jar at my table. Like I know people might hate that, but
I
I'm
remember.
like,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
Like if I'm doing a
smart.
commission for you and you're asking me to throw 6 of you guys into this drawing, like and you know that the commission's only costing you like $10, but you want to get 6 drawings out of $10, like y'all can't throw an extra $5 in there. Like come on.
I could count on my hand how many people have tipped me on a commission. And
Wow.
it's only one hand. Okay, so.
Oh no. In fact, I think in one way that I love librarians, because librarians will always like pay more than what they need to pay for. They're like, school's paying for this. How much you want? And I'm like, how many zeros do I get?
It's like that meme with the Cowboys drawing. Like, what's your budget? Like, how much do you have?
Oh yeah. Doing the standoff.
Yep.
Yeah, the standoff. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, Bianca, Raeghan, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I got to talk to both of you, and this was good. This was fun. I don't know. Did you all have fun?
This was fun.
This was all right?
I mean, honestly, it's a great hang. I'm having a good time. Like we're like just talking at this point.
I feel
but
bad.
like,
I'm like, I am a cartoonist. I do.
we draw.
Yeah,
we draw.
I get it.
I'm like,
I think everybody here draws.
Let's talk about music.
But I also feel like that's why people listen to this podcast. Like they know that. They know that like people are comics artists that come here, but they also come on here and listen to you because like we're gonna have like interesting conversations that you don't always get from like some of the other interviews. Like I feel like here,
fuck those
and like
other interviews.
Comics Journal, like you'll get like an interesting story, but like sometimes some of the interviews that I do, I'm like, you could probably search this question
Right.
and find 5 articles with me being asked these same routine questions over and over again. Versus like, I feel like people listen to podcasts and especially like listen to Gutter Boys because they want that like conversation. They want to feel like they're there. They throw this on while they're doing the dishes or whatever it is to feel like they're just hanging out with us.
Yeah, I feel like,
No, for sure.
I definitely, well, because I don't want to talk shit about anybody who like took time out to talk to me or whatever, but I do like talking about like.
But
What?
I'm about to do that.
No, but I do. I like talking about what I'm doing or what I've done, and sometimes interviewers for me kind of stray more into asking me about like my background. And like,
Mhm.
I like knowing about everybody else's background. Like, I like interviewing people and I like doing historical type shit or whatever. But I'm a real hypocrite, and I feel a little bit differently about like, I'm get real scared to like reveal, background stuff about myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes like people are asking me questions and I'm like, how can I answer this question without answering it at all?
Well, also, like, I mean, I know JB, like, you're also like a person of color, but like, I feel like not once during this conversation did I ever feel like, I know me and Raeghan brought it up because we wanted to talk about our blackness. We wanted to talk about the importance of the blackness in our work, but it was never like, sometimes I do interviews and I'm like, you are so stuck on both, like, you're so interested in who I fuck, and you're so interested in like what's going on under my skirt, and you're like so interested in like the oppression I experience because of the color of my skin, then talking about my art. Like, can we talk about my art? Can we talk about my process? Can we talk about what makes me tick than just like, ooh, so the cops give you a hard time, huh? And I'm like, yeah, okay. Jesus, like, can we talk?
What's that like?
Yeah, exactly. And just like, okay, like, so your gender's one thing, but then what kind of people do you like to sleep with? And I'm like, wow, you're being really invasive.
Wait,
like,
so someone actually on an interview asked you that?
That's how it feels. That's how it feels
That's
when people are
crazy.
so interested in like these
That's
things that you
crazy.
check. It's like a weird like kickback fascism where people like need to know all these little things about your personal life than just like, I know my personal life influences my work, but can we also just talk about my work? Then you kind of like, I feel like I'm taking a census.
Because it's like a lot of times, like, regardless of if people is an interviewer or not, the only way that they can relate to you is to ask about trauma so they can fawn over you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a not so fine line of fetishizing struggles. And, some people don't know how to walk that line, and some people don't even see the line. They just...
Yeah,
because when I want to talk about that stuff, I definitely want to talk about it, if I feel like talking about it, like, on my own terms. But I also mostly want to talk about it with my people.
Right.
Not like on an interview or whatever. Plus, like, there's like so much like nuance to all that shit like that. And it's like, I'm never going to get into like nuances about, being fucking like light skinned or some shit like that. Like with an interview, you know what I mean? Like, because no one's ever going to take it.
We should have that route. We should have that comics roundtable of all black and talk about colorism. That'd be kind of interesting.
It would be fine. But like, I just feel like a lot of times, like you just give them words and now they think they can use them or whatever. I can't remember who was telling me. Somebody was telling me, like, somebody said light skinned to me the other day, and I was like, shut the fuck up.
Was it a black person?
No, it was a white person. A black person was telling me.
You're not allowed to use those words. What are you talking about?
What are you like, described another black person as light skinned or whatever. But also I feel like on Twitter, like during the pandemic, it was like the meme with the the hands like clasping or whatever. I forget, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the white and black hand clasp.
Oh, and Carl was it Carl Weathers?
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah.
With white people sort of having an in, like, all the white people who used to call me the N-word. This is how I feel or whatever. The same ilk of white people who used to call me the N-word are now saying shit to me like, oh, you're not black. Like, I will fuck you up. Like, you know what I mean?
Remember that. I remember that.
You know what I'm talking about, though? Like, it's just like they
I know you're scrappy as fuck. I'm scared.
New things and then apply them insultingly. Like, we can't ever like just listen and take things in. We have to like always jump in the story. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I don't know Raeghan that well, obviously. This is the first time I am talking to them. She seems cool, but also I wouldn't want to piss her off.
Oh no, I got tendinitis. I'm actually not gonna fuck anybody up.
We were just talking about fighting Raeghan. Quit playing. We were just talking about throwing ass.
I'm retired.
Drinking ass juice. Said double down.
That was like pineapple juice. That was very pleasant.
I had too much ass juice, y'all. Be careful. Be careful about the ass juice at Double Down.
I'm retired. I'm a middle-aged lady now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those types of conversations are usually brought in just out of convenience, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, they'll only be brought up and framed in a certain way when it works to their advantage in
Yeah.
any given circumstance. So, yeah, I mean, it's bad faith shit,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's just like to bring back and impress like their other like little friends with or whatever.
Or it's just like, can you just connect to me as a human being?
Mhm.
Like,
right.
you're so distracted by all of these things that you don't see a person, do you? You just see like, what was I heard this one thing that was like saying like certain groups of white people like see people of color as just like talking inanimate objects. Like I am no
Fuck.
different to you than like a refrigerator. You're just like, wow, this refrigerator could speak. But like you don't see me as a person who has and like feelings and thoughts and processes and nuances in my mind in the same way that you do.
Yeah, I was about to go on a really long tangent, but I've kept you both on long enough. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I was just gonna bring up some film shit.
Oh
stuff
yeah,
I've
I
seen
forgot.
before, you know.
Because then we started talking about the plimsolls.
Yes.
Yes.
A million miles away. There you go. That's your little taste of me singing.
Mhm.
Maybe do a watch along at some point with that movie. You know. All right. Well, again,
Bring us
thank
back on the talk about Valley Girl.
Yes, it's a modern.
And we won't, but it'll be the topic
It's
of
a
the
modern Romeo and Juliet story.
podcast. It is.
And
It's
the
got
pu-
Baby Cage in it.
The
His
punk
eyebrows are
rocker has
fantastic.
Are they
khakis.
paying you? What is this? You're
His
writing
eyebrows
copy
are
for them now.
fantastic in the movie. It's like LA when
Oh
it was
my
still
God.
cool. Nah.
I used
There's
to
like-
say that line, but like nobody. I always used to say, I forget what it is now. Where he's like, "Hi, my name is Fred. I like tacos and 77 Cabernet, and my favorite color is magenta." And nobody ever knew what I was talking about, so they'd be like, "Oh, that's cool. I like tacos too." And I'm like, I'm a dumbass.
Oh my gosh. No. Like honestly, like this is actually I'm not even gonna go on the record and say that. But I will say this. My favorite part of Valley Girl is just the stoner parents. Like
Oh yeah, Sonny
it's
Bono
probably
is in
one
it.
of the best parts of the movies because like also like I watched the movie. There's one horrible thing that happens now with age as you stop becoming you're no longer the age of the main character and you start becoming the age of the parents and
Yes.
stuff. And that's sad. But
Mhm.
it is funny, like when you start watching, realizing the parents are just like in their 30s or their early 40s, and that's why they're always like in the background getting stoned. Because
Yeah.
it's just like, what are you doing in your 30s? Like you're like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm done. This is kid stuff. I'm gonna eat my vegan food and smoke pot. Leave me alone. Like,
Yeah. She was like, she's grounded. He was like, oh, they're not allowed to leave when they're grounded. That cracked me up. I forgot that was Sonny Bono.
It's great. That's great. Also, like fantastic Frank Zappa song. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll get around to watching this.
watch it.
It's a
Baby Cage.
It's a 10.
Okay. All right. Fair. I like movies. I'll watch it.
He's as earnest and cute as he is in what is it? Moonstruck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very
Wait, what
much
year
like
was
that
this?
character. This is like 87 or something. It's up
Oh
there.
shit. Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, he's a youngin. Okay.
he's a youngin. Yeah.
Right.
That's the Nick Cage that's like doing backflips at
Yeah,
like
'cause I'm
not like
thinking-
90.
Perfect for
Vampire's
the role,
Kiss
like
is, like, the
that
youngest
dumb,
I've
like
seen him.
Nick Cage. That like is so perfect. He was like, "No, Julie, like fuck off forever." I'm so sorry.
No, oh my gosh. I have a real soft spot for that character. But,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the youngest I've ever seen him in a movie is Kiss of the Vampire. I think it is.
I
Okay.
haven't seen
Okay.
that
Oh
one.
yeah. So it's about the same time. Yeah. With
Oh,
Jessica
okay.
Biels
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
or Jennifer Biels. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Flashdance,
I'll check it
yeah.
out. I'll put it on the list. Okay. How about that?
Please.
On the
Thank you.
list.
It's a good choice.
Just bullying me into watching this movie.
It's the only movie I've ever seen. So.
All right. Well, thank you again. I'm going to thank you a million more times. Appreciate it for real.
Oh, thank you.
And hopefully, Bianca, hopefully I'll get to see you in the near future. I need to visit Chicago at some point. And Raeghan, I would love to actually meet you in person at some point down the road.
I live in Ohio. I
maybe-
know it's a meme, but
I mean, I'm close by. So
where are you?
I'm in Southeast Indiana. So I'm like 2.5 hours away from Columbus.
Oh shit! I want to go to Indiana. They have like, Bianca. They have all that like all the extra footage from Afropunk is in Indiana, and I need to like go there and do research for my book, but
It's
Where's
just
it
where
held?
is it?
it's in
Where
like
is
the
it?
African American Music Archive. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
If that is in like a separate building. It's on my list to figure out next because I don't want to drive or whatever. But James said like I might be able to put in an order for them to like it might be digitized or whatever. But he's
sweet.
got like
Yeah.
all this. He's got a lot of footage like of like Pure Hell. So I guess he has like a lot of footage of like HR too. But it just didn't like. He like didn't make sense in the movie. I'm looking for the Sister Girl stuff. That's what I'm looking for. But I guess they had like punk rock proms and picnics and stuff like that.
Oh man, I want to throw a punk rock prom in the spring.
I asked Spooner, I was like, yo, when you put your book out, if I put my book out and we're all touring at the same time, I was like, can we like do a picnic? Because I'm like tired of being in bars and drinking. I want to eat sandwiches.
Oh my gosh,
and be in
they
the sun.
throw a picnic. What is it? They had a picnic in Dublin, a punk rock picnic. It was so cute. Like, and it also like made it more like all ages. Like there were so many babies there. But,
Yeah,
like,
I'm
and then like
sure.
some old head musicians from like some famous band from the 70s will like roll through. Like it's incredible. But I agree with that. I think
Yeah, I see the goths do it all the time. There's always goth like outdoor things. If the goths can do it, then we can do it.
the goths.
If the Visigoths can go out in the sun, like
And the goths are catching strays.
I'm sorry, Tana. I love you.
all day, Raeghan.
we have a
Jesus.
compact. We have a punk goth compact.
It's an alliance.
Uneasy alliance.
it's fraught, but you know, the goths know what they did.
They know what they
The
did.
goths, they know.
It's very ominous.
Yeah, so thanks for listening, and as always, stay gutter.